Hello and welcome to your daily dose of Satoshi's news. Today's day is Wednesday, the 5th of November 2025, the year BSV comes alive. Branch your threads, expand your mind with treechat.ai or your post on chain. Right, let's see what we've got today. Obviously, I'm just going to go through some posts. I want to go over this one. Fascinating article here, even though this was back in 2020. It says UK Court of Appeal finds facial recognition unlawful. That's huge. So just going to go through that article and then also some other posts on my Twitter feed that just need discussing. Yeah, indeed. And then after we've gone through those, we'll just have a look at the figures because they're looking actually pretty juicy. Like winning against the big dog. Can you believe it? And then we'll finish off with some 365 days of Bitcoin history. Right, let's get into it.
Satoshi, like a cowboy in the West, riding on the blockchain that they call the very best. 1 million strong, them transactions flying free. Just wait for the terror node, you'll surely see.
Here we go then. So by the way, I was just watching The Great Taking. Talk about you'll own nothing and be happy. So they're going to create derivatives of all securities registered in a central location in Brussels, and anything that you think you've bought that from a company that goes bust, the creditor will then be able to claim anything that has been securitized and sold by that company. So you think you own a car outright, you think you own a house outright. If the company that you bought it from goes bust and has a main creditor, that creditor will then take the item that you have purchased because they own a derivative of the security for the item that you've purchased. It's utterly unbelievable, but it's so unbelievable, people don't believe it. And that's what's worrying. You suddenly get a letter through the post, a knock on your door. They will just target people individually. Oh, by the way, we're going to take your house. What? I own this house. I paid for it. Yeah, but the company that you bought it from has gone bust. And this company here over in Brussels owns the derivative. And the derivative is now going to be securitized and taken possession of by the major creditor. Thanks very much. And literally, it's just a numbers game. Unbelievably scary. And that's called The Great Taking. So anybody who hasn't seen that, I would strongly recommend watching it because it just shows you this is why we need Bitcoin badly, really badly. And Sky News reported, they said Australian digital ID is coming. They've openly promoted its purpose. It's not conspiracy theory, it's fact. I mean, it's just, we know why they're doing this. Are they getting desperate? It's all part of religious prophecy, but I mean, have a listen.
Many skeptics warn that a digital ID is the end of democracy as we know it and an irreversible step into a dystopian future of firstly no cash, just a digital currency controlled by governments, potentially leading to a Chinese-style social credit system where government has the ability to control and restrict every single aspect of your lives, from where you go, how you travel, your healthcare, what you eat, control over your spending habits, a veto over your job prospects, and so on. On your screen is the World Economic Forum's graph on how a digital ID is central to controlling every part of an individual's life. Financial services, food and sustainability, travel and mobility, e-commerce, social media and telecommunications, it's all there. And of course, every aspect of your healthcare. Digital ID schemes potentially give absolute powers of surveillance and control over every aspect of your life to unelected bureaucrats, unscrupulous politicians and greedy governments and corporations. If you don't think future authoritarian governments of whatever persuasion won't use these powers ruthlessly and mercilessly, then you must have been fast asleep during COVID QR codes and vaccine mandates. According to an opinion piece in LifeSite News, the reality of digital identity is not about curbing illegal immigration. It has nothing to do with securing jobs. and it most certainly isn't meant to protect youth online. They say digital ID is the linchpin of the United Nations push for a global surveillance state.
There we go. There we go. You heard it here first. This is why the Bitcoin is literally the only way out of this. We either have a common money used by the people to create government that works for the people, or government will create currency to control the people, and that is it. They are the only options available to us. Whew, scary stuff, but, things are soldiering on. Check this out. Elon Musk says you are not ready for what's coming. So I've put a hashtag there, BSV strong. Are you BSV strong? Because you better be, because if you're not, you're going to get wiped out. Literally, the Bitcoin network is the only way to secure data, to make sure it can't be cracked, hacked, altered, changed, or deleted, which means it can't be disputed. And if it can't be disputed, there's no controversy, you own it. These big, major banks coming after people's assets, saying that we've got a derivative on the security of it. Can't do that with Bitcoin. All the evidence is there. But we need that to fund an army, really, against this lot, against the what they're using as securities fraud. And the guy who was in the Great Taking said that. He said it's kind of obvious that they don't use tax money for government spending when you look at how much they printed during COVID, which is, like $16 trillion. Absolutely insane. We don't need to pay taxes. It's just an absolute piss take, a complete joke. They print currency from nothing and they spend it on whatever they want. And we've just been asleep at the wheel because we have no idea how evil these satanic bastards are. Literally. Whew. And talking about satanic bastards, Defense Index says here, it says breaking. Israel has dropped a new type of bomb in Gaza. Palestine claimed it's a mini nuke, but analysis suggests it's more likely a thermobaric vacuum weapon. Like, what on earth is this? This is literally weapon experimentation. Thermobaric bombs detonate by dispersing a fuel-air mixture, producing a high-pressure shockwave and intense heat that can collapse structures and cause blast effects similar to a nuclear detonation in terms of overpressure, but it's not a nuclear weapon. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's all I've got to say on that. I'm speechless at the horror of what's going on. Talk about this woke clown. Darren of Plymouth pointed out that even William Hague, paid up member of the World Economic Forum. Oh my goodness. This was interesting. So Hustle Bitch said here, again, geoengineering and chemtrails linked to brain damage. Doctors warn it goes straight to your head. They're spraying nano aluminium from the atmosphere. It enters through your nose, goes straight to your brain, and the same region hit hardest by Alzheimer's. He said it would trigger an explosion of neurological diseases like Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, dementia, and that's exactly what's happening. If this is what's raining from above, what else are they surrounding us with, and what's it doing to our bodies and brains? Yeah, and now we know who's doing it. It's becoming, it depends. It depends how many people are actually going to wake up to it. Or maybe, like Margaret Mead said, never underestimate the power and determination of a small group of people to change the world, for indeed it's the only thing that ever has. And that's going to be those of us in BSV. It's the only way. A fantastic documentary here on they're lying to you about nuclear energy and actually how efficient and clean and safe it was. But, they don't want us to have efficient, clean, cheap energy. I think that's why they lied to us about nuclear energy, to sort of try and change our mind on it. That's what's going on. And surprise, surprise, Danish dairy farmers report cows collapse from a mandatory Bovaer additive. They're literally just destroying everything. Interesting post here from BitCrash. He said, "Here sounds awful." I think this might be a quote from John Pitts. Yeah, it is. Sounds awful. 99 out of 100 people in BSV just want the price to go up so they get rich. But like Craig, so they get rich. But like Craig is frustrating them because he's saying no, the value is in the system, the ledger, and what it can do. It can generate money for you, create a business. And that was Jack Pitts. And my response to that was, this is about so much more than just number go up. It's about the survival of our species, our freedoms and liberties. It's literally Satoshi versus Satan. We know what's coming. And number go up, that's just dollar worshipping. Literally, this thing has got to have massive transaction volume. And like Elon Moy said, you've no idea what's coming, or you're not ready for what's coming. Let's just remind ourselves of what he said. Around here somewhere. No. What was he said? You are not ready for what's coming. Well, let's hope so. Let's hope that we're not ready for it. It's going to blow everyone out of the water. And I've said oof here in response to breaking Donald Trump to investigate the BBC over doctored speech footage. They've effed around. Now they're about to find out. Well, yeah, let's hope so. And talking about that, the British Patriot said breaking 2.4 million households in Britain have cancelled their TV or their BBC TV licence fee since 2020. This is a loss of 231 million. Not that they'll be too bothered about that because Bill and Melinda Gates basically funds them. But I said people are waking up to the BBC's bullshit propaganda. Oh, yeah. Another great a video here on YouTube saying, I worked for Big Pharma. What I saw will shock you. Honestly, just bribes. They're not helping cure or treat people at all. Just making people worse. Back to Bitcoin. Ketones, not glucose, said, whoop, whoop, sailor. It's that time again. Time for yet another 100k BTC party. Because obviously he's buying more and the price keeps dipping. It's gone down to 100k now. Sailor has no idea what he's doing. But I did want to spend a bit of time reading this article here. Look at this. UK Court of Appeal finds facial recognition technology unlawful. The UK Court of Appeal has handed down its judgment in R. Bridges versus Chief Constable of South Wales Police, 2002. On the 11th of August 2020, the UK Court of Appeal overturned the High Court's previous dismissal of a challenge to South Wales Police use of automated facial recognition technology, finding that its use was unlawful and in violation of the European Convention on Human Rights. Background: in September 2019, the claimant brought judicial review proceedings after South Wales Police launched a surveillance project using facial recognition technology. The technology, a system called AFR, which was... just saw what that meant a second ago. Never mind. Facial recognition something. AFR locate was deployed at certain events and in different locations where crime was likely to occur. This was used to scan members of the public, capturing up to 50 faces per second. These images were then matched against others in a watch list compiled by the police. Using biometric data analysis, where an image didn't match any others in the watch list, it was automatically deleted. It has been estimated that over 50 deployments that were undertaken in 2017 and 2018. The technology may have captured sensitive facial biometric data, well, absolutely, i.e. measurements of facial features from around 500,000 people without their consent. That is absolutely outrageous. The claimant contended that the use of the technology was unlawful, as it was in contravention to both Article 8 of the ECHR, the right to respect for private and family life, and data protection laws in the UK. It was also claimed that the police did not properly comply with the public sector equality duty under the Section 149 of the Equalities Act 2010, as the equality impact assessment undertaken was obviously inadequate and had failed to take into account the risk of indirect discrimination on the basis of sex or race. In the first instance, it was decided that the High Court that while the facial recognition technology does engage the privacy and data protection rights of those scanned, the current legal framework provides sufficient safeguards for use of this technology. Additionally, it was decided that the use of the technology to obtain biometric data for members of the public was carried out within the police's common law powers to prevent and detect crime. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. Judgment. The Court of Appeal allowed the appeal to succeed on the following grounds. The use of AFR by the South Wales Police was found to be in breach of Article 8 of the ECHR on the grounds that it automatically and without consent collected and processed the biometric data of members of the public, which engaged the right to a person's image. The data protection impact assessment conducted by the police did not comply with Section 64(3)(b) and C of the Data Protection Act 2018, as it failed to properly assess the risks the technology posed to people's rights and freedoms. The appellate argued that the DPIA was inadequate in the following three ways. Yeah, we'll get used to that. The judgment demonstrates that despite the key safeguards provided under UK data protection law for the processing of sensitive personal data, the application of the legal framework in the context of the deployment and the use of AFR is perhaps not as clear-cut. AFR is a complex technology, and as acknowledged by the Court of Appeal, the future development of AFR technology is likely to require periodic re-evaluation of the sufficiency of the legal regime. Businesses making use of AFR or similar technology should ensure that they pursue and maintain the highest possible level of compliance and applicable privacy and data protection laws. It should be ensured that, where required, adequate and thorough DPIAs are carried out before processing, taking into account any potential engagement with human rights and equity laws as well as public laws. Honestly, what's going on is just utterly criminal. They absolutely blatantly knew that was breaching people's right to privacy, scanning their face, without consent. Absolutely outrageous. And again, in the future, we won't need biometric technology because a digital signature will suffice. And again, this is why they don't want Bitcoin, and this is why we need it so badly. So let's have a look at the figures here. Grapecoin, 103,000. Bcrash still under 500. Fisher price cash, who cares? Bitcoin, $22. Hash rate 0.02. Network still saying 0.00. Transactions, though, 52% plus. We'll take that. And block size, 94.52%. Let's have a look at the blocks coming through. Three-figure numbers here. 241, 163, 330. That's quite a big block. 102. 111, yeah, so 330 megabytes. Bearing in mind that Grapecoin has only got 1 megabyte pretty much in each block, so probably 50 megabytes in that column of 30. And yeah, we've got one block with 330 megabytes in it, mined by Mining Dutch. Nice. Currently 60,000 times cheaper to transact on Bitcoin than Grapecoin. Mining Bitcoin at a 7.2% comparable profit. We will take that. Yes, we will. Right, so Grapecoin hash rate. So F2 Pool in second place, taking a market share away from Foundry USA Pool. Other miners, looks like there's 6% on there. Bcrash, other miners, 7% on that one. Fisher price cash, not bothered, and again, not reporting the mining figures properly for Bitcoin. Let's see, look where we are in the charts for transaction volume. We are third. We're in front of Grapecoin, chomping at the heels of XRP, sitting duck, and then Ethereum with 1.6 million. But look at that, third place, and yet we'll be ranked down in like the 90s in coin market cap. Figures just don't add up. So 418,000 transactions over the last 24 hours confirmed by What's on Chain. Kuv 21% of overall mining share, Tal 21, Mining Dutch 18.18, SA100 15.15, and Gorillapool 12.12, 21.21, 21.21, 18.18, 15.15, 12.12. Are you fucking kidding me? Nothing suspicious there. Anyway, so this is Bitcoin versus the big dog. So been doing well over the last 48 hours. So keep it coming. Loving that. There we go. This is also Bitcoin versus Grapecoin. So yeah, doing well. Let's have a look at this on US dollar terms though. Bitcoin in US dollar. Huh. So that's actually been going down. Let's just reduce that. There we go, the last 48 hours, and just sort of trending sideways, but that means grey coin has been going down. Yes, it has. Let's have a look at live coin watch then. Overall market cap $3.3 trillion. Grey coin 103. It's taken a beating. That's just bouncing back a little bit. But where is Bitcoin? Where's it going to be? Like 90 something or other? Oh, it's 90. We are moving up the charts. Whereas we've been around 100, we now moved up 10 coins at 90. Heading out of the 90s and into the 80s. We'll take that. Look at that. That's what we want. Slowly, slowly, catchy monkey. That will do nicely. Yes, indeed. Right, 5th of November. Happy bonfire night. Guy Fawkes night. 5th of November 2014, the price of Bitcoin was $337, and that was back in 2014. Now we're picking up for 20 quid or $20. Insane. On the 5th of November 2014 also, 33, would you believe that number? I don't believe that for a second whenever I see that now these days. 33 legal entities and individuals announced founding of the Estonian Cryptocurrency Association with main goals to develop the field of cryptocurrencies in Estonia. So there we go, that's your little bit of history there. All right, that's a 20-minute show. We'll leave you there. I hope you enjoyed it. As ever, be aware, take care, stay safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one.
The king still has one more move.